3 months ago, I found myself getting into an abusive relationship. Of course, I did not know that at the time. I felt as though it was destiny and everything was falling perfectly and magnetically into place, and nothing could go better. She was very alluring. There was a lot of promise. It seemed like very bright, hopeful horizons. And it seemed like I could do no wrong. Every single little thing that I did, it just kept on making things better and better. And it seemed like I finally found my place. It was harmonious. But that was the honeymoon phase. That only lasted a month. The next month, I couldn't do anything right. Basically, every single decision that I made and every behavior that I conducted myself with was used against me. It backfired and seemingly put me into detrimental scenarios every single time. But you know what? I saw this as an opportunity. It was an opportunity because even though my circumstances weren't necessarily favorable, it allowed me to really analyze myself, my heart, my motivations, why I was doing the things that I was doing, what exactly was inspiring my actions. Was I coming from a place of stress? Was I trying to avoid a certain outcome? Or was I trying to embrace something good? And to be honest, after making a few errors in a row, I found myself trying to avoid certain circumstances. And so my actions were based on trying to avoid circumstances. I developed eggshell syndrome. And I'll just say it, she's a full-on narcissist. She's a sociopath, in fact. She has zero emotions, and it seems as though I could do 20 things right, and the moment that I do one thing wrong, that's the only thing that matters, and that's the thing that makes the biggest difference within my circumstances. And it makes for a very testing scenario. But what I love about that is it demands excellence from my behavior. And that makes for a high-pressure arena for shaping and discovering what's inside of my heart, because I know that I can't be better if I don't know what things are holding me back. So the second month, as I said, things didn't go well. In fact, it seemed as though I was on a trajectory of complete bankruptcy and doom. But I kept on going. I kept trying, and I kept on assessing where my motivations are coming from, whether it's stress-based, whether it's fear-based, whether I'm trying to avoid a certain circumstance from taking place, or if I'm trying to embrace something good. And I can tell you this, almost every single time that I tried to avoid something from happening, that very thing came into my existence. It's a very subtle difference when our behaviors are based upon us trying to avoid a certain circumstance from taking shape, and instead perhaps embracing a certain good circumstance. The intention, that's what seems to make the difference. And the next month, the third month, I started to really take hold of this opportunity. I decided to really embrace it, give it my all. Sure, everything that I was doing seemingly was working against me, and she was making sure that I knew that, and that she seemed to try and make it seem like everything was always my fault. And you know what? I agree. It forced me to take responsibility. It forced me to take accountability and say, you know what? This is on me. I can't control how she reacts, and I can't demand anything different of her because that's outside of me. But what I can do is I can internally analyze what is going on inside of my mind, inside of my heart, and I can really decipher where my motivations are coming from. And I can take that as an opportunity to become better. Because every single moment is utilized to our benefit. And I firmly believe that. So even though these circumstances were seemingly dire, they were actually extremely profound and important moments for me to get to know myself. And you know, I'm still 3 months into this thing, and I'll admit I still don't have a full-on confident trajectory as to how I'm going to get out of this. It's I'm in a deep hole. But you know what? That's okay, because I feel as though this is exactly where I'm supposed to be, that this is part of the process. All of these different events, my relationship with this narcissist, it's perfect. It's perfect because it's the very experience that I require to know what to let go inside of my heart. And then on top of that, what to embrace in place of what was holding me back. Her name is Marcella Marquette. She's international. She's exotic. She doesn't sleep. She tries to keep me awake all the time. She tries to make me go bankrupt. And you know what? I love her for it, because it's that kind of pressure that allows me to become a better man. And so I'm grateful for her, even though she's trying to just destroy me at every turn of the key. But seriously, in all honesty, this is the moment where we really understand what we're made out of. We may not know what the future looks like, per se. We may not even have a complete plan as to how to move forward or a trajectory, but I can say this. I can say that no matter how dire my circumstances look, my God will be my salvation. I know and I believe firmly that there is a perfect plan, and that there is a hope and a good future, one of prosperous elements, and one of great rewarding experience, and one where I'm able to impart mass amounts of value to many different people. And that's what matters. Marcella Marquette is, of course, the cryptocurrency market. And you know, the first month, it's true, I couldn't make a false move. I could even go into my futures trading account, and I could just haphazardly do a buy and do a sell just to get a feel for the market, and boom, I'm up $800. Amazing. But the second month wasn't like that. It was a different condition. The first month had a lot of 17% movement days, and so there was a stronger trend to work with. And in December, it was very noisy. There was a lot of wicks up and down, 5% per wick at times, and it was extremely easy to get stopped out and, what's worse, even liquidated. But in those moments, I was able to acquire a lot of little gems that made my protocol that much better. It showed me patterns within myself as to what decisions I was making based on trying to avoid liquidation. And anytime I'm trying to avoid liquidation, that's what would happen. But my mindset back in November was embracing a very favorable opportunity as shown by my protocol. There wasn't any negative charge inside of me that was trying to avoid a certain thing from happening again. And it's just like what Job said. What I feared most came upon me. When we try to avoid something because we're fearful of having to experience it, it's that very charge that almost works like a magnet that brings it into our lives. But when our behaviors are based on and inspired by embracing a good scenario, suddenly fear is no longer the motivator of trying to stop something from happening. It's the desire of something great coming into our lives that is the perpetual energizing factor. And that is when the good things happen. I'm at the stage right now where, I made $6,500 or $6,300 in November. I lost $10,500 in December. And this month, in January, now it's February, I basically broke even to a degree. Lost about maybe 500 overall. And I'm at the place now where I have a better understanding. My protocol is clearer, but I'll admit, I don't have as much confidence as I did in my protocol back in November. So I don't know exactly what parameters I'm going to be utilizing in the future. I don't know the exact strategy moving forward. All that I know is that I'm trusting the process and I feel good. I feel hopeful. And there's moments, there's days where, after the fifth or sixth loss in a row, I felt like a failure because I had a lot of pressure going into this. It wasn't just about making money. It was about being able to impart value to others by bringing prosperity to others. And if I can't find myself doing that in my scenario, how am I supposed to do that for others? So there's a lot of pressure in that particular paradigm, but I'm still confident. I do believe that this is heading somewhere good, but just to give you an idea as to where I'm at, I'm deep into my overdraft. I was negative $1,000. Now I'm negative $500 in my bank account. I owe $24,000 on one Visa card. I owe another $5,000 on another Visa card. I owe $25,000 on a line of credit. And I owe $40,000 to the government for my realized profits from last year or 2 years ago now. So there's that. But in spite of that, I still feel like this is going somewhere good. So moving forward, I can't even say exactly what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to continue to analyze my motivations, what's inspiring my actions. I'm going to continue to take the opportunity to dissect every misstep that I make when it comes to the markets. And I do believe strongly that in the end, I'm going to be led victoriously through this, not because of my own thinking, but because of the events that I'm led through to impart the awareness that I require to accomplish the goal of bringing prosperity to others and to embrace the destiny that has been preordained for me to experience. Don't know how, don't know the exact trajectory, but I do know that victory is already written within my destiny through Christ. So I will do another update 3 months later. Until then, me and Marcella, we'll be connected.